Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new to our channel, subscribe, drop the video a like, and I want you Villa fans to get involved in this episode. I want you to comment away and I want you to comment your thoughts. So we are close to 10,000 subscribers, so if you can get us over the line, I'd absolutely love it. So the title of the video, Unai Emery, 5 things that he must do at Aston Villa. And what we're going to do is I've broke it down into 5 different categories in which that I feel like for Aston Villa to succeed and to get into the direction that we need to go into, there's 5 things, and I'm going to run through all of those 5 things. But I want you at home to, in the comment section down below, to put the 5 things that you feel like Unai Emery must do to improve Aston Villa. You can get creative or like be deadly serious. So I'd look forward to reading your 5. And it is the Unai Emery era, which you all know now I am absolutely buzzing for. And we've had some comments recently saying that, you know, we shouldn't be getting too excited. We should see how it goes. We should see how it pans out. And my response to that is, I feel like my excitement for Unai Emery coming in and the way in which I've been speaking about Unai Emery coming in is excitement because I finally feel like he's going to enable the club to go in the direction that I feel like it needs to go in. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm under no illusion that he's not going to come in on Tuesday and we're going to start playing blockbuster football and it's going to be tick-a-tack galore and we're going to wipe the floor with every opposition. That is not going to happen. So why I'm excited are hopefully for the 5 things that I'm going to explain to you that are going to completely transform Aston Villa in the long run. This is a project. This is a massive 3, 4, 5-year plan here. This isn't going to be solved overnight. And it's going to take time. And once I've hopefully got through the 5 points that I'm going to address in this video, hopefully your understanding will be a little bit better to why I'm excited and why I feel like this is a massive appointment. So don't think that just because I'm excited, I feel like Emery's coming in and we're going to be absolutely amazing straight away. That's not going to happen. So hopefully I've sort of like made that point a little bit clearer, you know. So what I want you to do, 5 points, 5 things that you feel like he must do to improve Aston Villa, right? So I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to give you my 5. I'm going to run through everything in those 5 points, why I feel like we're going to improve. Number 1, coach the living daylights out of this football squad. We need to be coached because the way things have gone recently, we have been an absolute shit show. All over that football pitch, we have been terrible. i.e., 45 minutes in the second half against Newcastle. Full 90 minutes against Fulham. So many games we look devoid of any ideas. And for me, this comes from the training ground. You can sign whoever you want to sign. You can sign players with ability like Leon Bailey, Amy Buendia, Philip Coutinho, Boubacar Kamara, Diego Carlos, Luca Dean. Doesn't matter who you sign. You could sign Haaland. You could sign Kevin De Bruyne. You can sign top quality players. But unless they're coached properly, you're going to have massive problems. For me, coaching is absolutely huge in the modern day football. It's absolutely huge. What goes on at Bodymoor Heath has a massive part to play in what you see when you sit down at Villa Park, what you see when you sit down or stand up at an away game. It's massive. And I think we haven't been coached properly. We have no idea on what we're meant to be doing, and I feel like this is a fundamental problem of what's gone wrong. And to get an elite coach like Unai Emery is huge, and it's like you can sign top quality players for £30 million. But if you don't have an elite coach, if you don't have a manager that has a philosophy and a style of play, you're going to have massive problems. And getting Unai Emery in as the coach that he is going to solve a lot of Villa's problems on the football pitch. Not going to solve them overnight, but he's going to solve a lot of problems. You know, I look at that Villa side, and I look at the side when, like, for example, the second half against Newcastle, when 1 goal goes in, when 2 goals goes in, when 3 goals go in, we're looking around, we're looking and we're like, what's going on? You know, everybody's looking around, blaming everybody, but that shouldn't be happening. Yes, take responsibility, but at 2-0 down, we should still have belief. We should still be able to stick to our core principles and our core style of play to get us back into a game. At 2-0 down at the minute, I look at that side and I think, no point. May as well give up now, because we're not going to come back in that game, because we don't have key characteristics. We don't have a philosophy. We don't have a style of play in which we can still stick to, which are going to get us back into that game. And that is a massive problem, and it needs addressing. Player responsibility on the football pitch needs addressing. In-game scenarios need addressing as well. What goes on during a game, you know, patterns of play, that's a massive problem as well. You know, football belief that can transpire and come off the football ground, belief, no fear, a consistency, an aggression, and a desire. All those things come out of a style of play, and we lack all of them. We lack a plan A, we lack a plan B, we lack a plan C, we lack a plan D. All these plans we need to have on the football pitch, because if we go out and plan A is not working and we 1-0 down, what do we do? What is the response? What do collectively the players need to do? And we need to address that and go again. We need to be more clinical. We need to be more ruthless. You know, I think it's going to help massively that Unai Emery is going to be on the side of that touchline as well. He's going to be like a little puppet. He's going to be able to control. I love managers that are on the sideline that are sort of like the conductors. You know, you see Arteta, you see Guardiola, you see Klopp, you see Potter, you saw Tuchel on that sideline. I don't want to see my manager sat down or standing up with his arms like this. I want to see him conducting the team, telling them where to go. And I feel like that is going to be a massive improvement as well from what we're going to see going forward as well. So the coaching that's coming out of Bodymoor Heath, for me, is going to be absolutely massive. And it's a part of the game in which we are night and day with some of the top teams in this league. You know, you looked at Eddie Howe when he went in at Newcastle, and he brought in, you know, £200 million worth of players, and what he's created there in a short space of time. We're looking for Unai Emery to do something similar, right? We're looking for him to do something similar. This team should not be languishing in and around the relegation zone, and we'll get on to the players in a little while. You know, it should be at worst a top half team, in my opinion, and that's sort of like 12th, 11th, 10th place. So let's go into my number 2, and it's unite. What do I feel like Unai Emery needs to do at Aston Villa? He needs to unite the club. He needs to unite the squad. He needs to unite the fan base. And by that, I mean everybody is in that family, we're in it together environment. The fans know what their role is. The club know what their role is. The players know what their role is. And we embrace the manager. We embrace Unai Emery as one of us. I want to see loud at Villa Park. I want to see when we chanting Emery's name, he feels loved from us. I think we've got a big part to play to make Emery feel like he's one of the Holt End, he's one of Villa Park. Feel that love, feel that passion from us, and for him to grasp the club straight away and to get that connectivity and to feel part of the club, to feel the 12th man, and that's what I feel like it needs to be. A fan desire to want to get Emery involved, the club desire, the players, a no excuse attitude with the players. I think they need to embrace that. I think they need to embrace that losing isn't good enough. Losing isn't good enough at Aston Villa Football Club. And I feel like if he can unite the players and the fans together, we'll have a better harmony. And that's what I feel like we need as well. I just feel like the fans have a massive, massive role to play in Unai Emery as well. And it's all about for Emery to feel one of us. And if that love can filter down to the players, then that is going to be absolutely massive. In my opinion, what we saw in the last management was we didn't see any ounce of togetherness at all. It all felt Gerrard was doing a job, the players are trying to do a job, the players don't like the management, we don't like the management, we like the players, but the players are too afraid to play for the fans. It all felt so disjointed. It needs to feel like we're one big family, all connected together. Yeah, the club needs to know we love the manager needs to love his players, vice versa. Everything needs to be in harmony together. And when we sing Unai Emery's Claret and Blue Army, I want it to be loud, man. I just want it to be so loud. And that has got to start on Sunday at Man United. He's got to walk out and be like, whoa. And everything has got to kickstart from Sunday. And that's a massive, massive thing that I feel like we need to have. So number one, coaching. Number two, unite and unity. Number three, a culture. Unai Emery needs to create a culture at Aston Villa. And the culture I feel like we need to have to start with is a winning culture. Losing is not good enough. I am sick and tired of watching this football team lose week after week. I'm sick and tired of having players coming out week after week. Yes, it wasn't good enough. We need to do better. We need to go back and have a long, hard look at ourselves. It's not good enough for this football club. I'm sick of hearing that. I do not want to hear that anymore. I want to hear responsibility, but I want to hear them work hard. I want to hear them trust the manager. I want to hear them have a game plan. I want to see a style of play. And all of this comes into the culture of what Emery is going to be setting on the training ground. I want to see him setting a philosophy, a style of play, and that should transpire into the players where they work hard. There's a belief. 2-0 down, there's a belief to get back in this game. 2-0 down, I feel like we can get something from the game. Hard work, working for each other, working for your teammates, coming off that football pitch with a sense of, you know what? We left everything on that pitch today. We're not going to win every week, Villa fans. We're not going to be able to beat everybody. We can't beat everybody because at the minute, we don't have the players to do that. We'd struggle to beat Liverpool. We'd struggle to beat Man City. We'd struggle to beat Arsenal. But we have to give every game a go and we have to believe that we can beat every team we're coming in. And that comes from the coaching, the unity, the culture of the club. All these things that I'm explaining are going to be a work in progress. But if you can get all of them together, it means that we're in a lot better place. We've just got to just work hard and graft. And I think Emery will bring a culture because you don't win 4 Europa Leagues. You don't have a win success rate of over 50% at virtually every club he's been at. And it's down to these players now to grasp what Unai Emery is going to implement for them. They have to. There is no excuses. If these players want to improve themselves, if they want to be better, then they have to fully embrace what Emery is going to do. Because for too many times now, they're looking at each other and they don't take enough responsibility, in my opinion. And they have to. On Tuesday, there's going to be a vast amount of stuff that they're going to have to take on board. And oh my God, do I hope they take it on board. That they've got to be like a sponge and they've got to soak up everything that Unai Emery says. Yeah, on that training pitch, the style of play, the philosophy, the way in which he wants to go about things. He is going to educate those players in that video room. So when they go on that football pitch, they know what to expect. You know, there's going to be certain things that happen in games that he's going to foresee. They have to react to what he's going to say. You know, he's going to lead from the touchline, but there's going to be game plans, and that's what I feel like he needs to do. So they need to grasp this. I can't reiterate how much those players need to react to Unai Emery coming in this football club, because they just have to, Villa fans. They just have to. My fourth one is going to be recruitment. Recruitment is going to also be very, very important. And we're going to have to recruit well. Now, in the summer, do I think we recruited well? I think we did okay at the start. I think if we'd have carried on like the start through until September, we'd have had one of the best transfer windows we've ever had. But we need to recruit well. And I think the Kamara and Carlos coming in was absolutely brilliant. But I feel like Lang and co at the minute are sort of stuttering on a direction in which you were trying to go at with recruitment. And I think it's important that when Unai Emery comes in and he looks at this squad, and what I would say about Emery, he's not coming into this team. He's not just thought, you know what, I'll take the job and I'll have a look at the squad when I've had a look at it. Unai Emery coming into Aston Villa, he's had a look at the squad. He knows what he can do. He's not going to be on that touchline training ground this week thinking, can I get Buendia into my system? Can I get Bailey into my system? Where does John McGinn fit? Jacob Ramsey, where's he going to go? Emery has already looked at this squad and he's thought, I can work with it. He's an elite coach and he's looked at Villa and he's thought, I can do this. I can get this club up that table. And that also gives me confidence. But now we've got to trust Unai Emery's judgment. And this is also going to be important. And it's where I feel like Steven Gerrard went wrong within the recruitment stage. And I'll explain why. When Unai Emery comes into this club, he's going to have a look at the players. He's going to have a look at the ones that he likes, and he's going to have a look at the ones that he doesn't like. There's going to be players in the middle ground that he thinks, yeah, I can work with you. I feel like I can do something with you. Where I feel like Gerrard went wrong is he went in 100 mile an hour saying, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. If you don't fit my system, you're not good enough. I'll have a look at you. And if you're not good enough, you're going to be out the door. But they weren't out the door. And that was the problem. He had a look at them and he didn't get rid of the ones that he didn't want. He kept them lingering around. And in the end, he made do with what he'd got. So my point is, if Emery thinks that some of these players aren't good enough, then get rid of them. Because we can't have any sentiment. I feel like we have this sentiment with some of these players because we've been attached with them because they've been with us for a long time. A lot of them have let us down. And it's about time now that we whittled the ones with the mentality that aren't good enough. The flakiness, the ones that let us down each week, it's about time we got rid of those and we were left with the ones that want to get on board, that want to fight and want to show that desire. Because what I feel like happens when we get left with the ones that we don't want, it just filters into this culture of the way we are, and I hate it. I hate it, Villa fans. So I think that is important. Emery, come in, look at the ones you want to work with, the ones that you don't, get rid of them, because they're just going to do you no good in the end. Then they're stinking the place out. So I think those ones need to be looked at as well. Right, that's the recruitment side of things. We need to recruit well. Back him to the moon and back, right? Whatever he wants, just give it him. Give it him. If he needs somebody to come in, if he needs a Pau Torres and he's saying 60, 70 mil, just give it him, because he's going to work. We need to give him the keys to Villa Park. We need to give him the keys to the NSWE vault to get that money out and buy what he wants, right? And that is important. Let Emery recruit well, and the ones that he don't want, just get rid, right? If you take a hit on them and you don't get a value that you want, just get it, because there's too much sentiment with some of these. You know, the point I'm trying to make is Newcastle's second half, for example, I'm fed up of seeing that. I'm sick and tired of seeing that level of performance. There's a flakiness to it. Get Callum Chambers, get Bednarak in that centre-back partnering, because the two of Mings and the two of Konsa doesn't work. It doesn't work, Villa fans, right? Whatever Emery's system is, if, for example, there's a midfielder that's just not going to work sticking around, let's take the hit and let's get rid. And my final point, mentality. He needs to instill a mentality into this club, and a mentality of, we do not like losing, and we are sick and tired of losing. We are sick and tired of playing well and losing. I'm fed up of it. I know every single Villa fan is fed up of it. I want to watch Aston Villa go into every single game and be competitive in every single one. If we're playing bad, I still want to see us being competitive. I still want to have that belief that, you know what, we can go down there, we can shit house, and we can nick a draw. We can go and nick a win. That's what I want. I don't want to see us being, for us to win, we've got to be really good, because other than that, we're really poor. How many times, Villa fans, have I said it on podcasts where if one player plays rubbish, they all play rubbish? That shouldn't happen. If one player plays rubbish, you get off the football pitch, you get replaced by somebody else. But they all seem to play the same when one of them's having a bad game. Got to go. That has got to go. And no excuse culture at Villa Park. That is what I want. And that is what we should have had this season. And that's what we should have had and what we were talking about this season. There's no excuses. You've got the best training facilities. You've got one of the best grounds in the country. You've got one of the best owners in the country. You've got one of the best managers in the country. You've got the best fan base in the country. How can you fail? How can we fail? That mentality has got to shift into, we don't like losing, and never give up culture at the club as well. You know, when we're 2-0 down, don't give up. Keep going. Fight until the 80th minute to get that goal, and then we can try and get an equaliser. And I think that mentality, that winning mentality from Unai Emery is going to be the difference as well. And, you know, if those players can't look at Unai Emery and think, you know what, this guy's come in, look at everything that he's won. He's a fantastic coach, and I'm going to give everything to this coach. And that's what those players have got to do. And it's just got to filter down filter down to the fans as well. The fact that we do think we can go into Sunday's game against Man United and get something from the game. We do feel like we can play Arsenal. We do, and and I just think collectively that's going to be huge as well, Villa fans. So those are my 5 things in which I feel like for Villa to be successful under Unai Emery, we've got to do coaching, unite the fan base, unite the crowd, unite the players, unite the coaching setup all into one. A culture, a philosophy, a style of play. Yeah. Plan A, B, C, D. Everything. Recruitment. Recruit well, but allow Emery to get what he needs to get in the building. And if the players aren't good enough, let's get rid. And a mentality of we don't give up. We have belief and everything. If those 5 things can be implemented, Aston Villa will succeed. So Villa fans, I hopefully I've galvanised the fan base a little bit and gave my thoughts on 5 things I think Unai Emery has to do at Aston Villa. And I'd love to see what your 5 things are as well. We're embarking now on a new era. It's going to take time. I'm happy for it to take time. I'm happy if it takes 2 years. If it takes 2 years now for us to get into a position where we're a top half team, what do I want to see this season? I want to see us climb that table. I want to see us in and around 10th place. That is my aim, right? And then in the summer, galvanise this team. Let him build what he needs to do. And I have no doubt this manager can get us winning a trophy. League Cup, FA Cup. Do it this season. We're still in 2 cup competitions. We've got one of the best cup competition manager in the world. He is one of the world's best cup competition managers. So let's do it. Let's believe in him. Let's give him time. Yeah, we're not going to be the finished article this season. It's not going to happen. But we have got to give him time. I am sick and tired of every 2 seasons, every 3 seasons, getting a new manager. I'd love Unai Emery to be our manager for the next 5 years. I'd love that. I'd love to have that stability. I'd love to just give a manager time in which that he can build something, and it's a progress of a upward trajectory. Yeah, if he can get us 10th this season, fair enough, and let's just keep going. So that's what I feel, Villa fans. That's my honest opinion. And at the end of the day, if Unai Emery can't do it, then I don't think anybody can. I really, really don't. If he can't do it, then I don't know. But we've got to give him time, and we've got to lean on him a little bit. We've got to lean on his direction as well and trust him. Right? We've got to trust him to make the right decisions, and the board have got to trust him as well. Hopefully, he's got a really good relationship with NSWE now as well. That they have hired Emery. They have gone out and hired an elite coach, and it's down to him now to lean on Purslow more, lean on Lang more, and it's those 2 have got to trust Emery, right? I don't want Purslow and I don't want Lang making any football decisions whatsoever. If Emery says, I need this player, we go out and get him. If Emery says this needs to happen at the club, they listen to him and they do what he says. Yeah, that is what I feel like they need to do. Purslow is now on borrowed time, in my opinion. For whatever he does off the football pitch, for whatever he does to the stadium, whatever he does with the MPs, whatever he does with the transport links in and around football, that's your job now. Right? That is your job, and that is what you have to do. That's your role, Purslow. It's now Emery's job with Lang to go and find the correct targets and to do the due diligence to get those signings. And that is how it's all going to work. We have to trust Emery, right? And it's so important that we do. So Thank you, Villa fans, for watching. I would love to see your 5. We will be back for our match previews, predicted lineups. We've got a new little thing that's going to be coming at the end of the week as well, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, up the Villa. Let's stay positive. We're in a new era now. Let's try and forget what's happened in the past, because whatever's happened in the last 12 months has been absolutely rubbish. And it's time now to look up, look forward to Unai Emery. Up the Villa, and let's believe and let's do it for each other now. Come on, Villa fans.